For Jesus had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For many times it had seized him. He was kept under guard and bound with chains and shackles, but he would break the bonds and be driven by the demon into the wilds. Jesus then asked him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Legion," for many demons had entered him. They begged him not to order them to go back into the abyss. Now there on the hillside a large herd of swine was feeding, and the demons begged Jesus to let him enter these. So he gave them permission. Then the demons came out of the man and entered the swine, and the herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and was drowned. When the swineherd saw what had happened, they ran off and told it in the city and in the country. Then people came out to see what had happened, and when they came to Jesus, they found the man from whom the demons had gone, sitting at the feet of Jesus, and clothed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. Those who had seen it told them how the one who had been possessed by demons had been healed. Then all the people of the surrounding country of the Gerasenes asked Jesus to leave them, for they were seized with great fear. So he got into the boat and returned. And the man from whom the demons had gone begged that he might be with him. But Jesus sent him away, saying, "Return to your home and declare how much God has done for you." So he went away, proclaiming throughout the city how much Jesus had done for him. Let us pray. God, may the words of my mouth and meditations of all of our hearts be pleasing and acceptable to you, O God, our rock, our strength, and our Redeemer. Amen. So this morning I ask us the question, why are we here today? Why are we here today? Why are we not doing what everybody else out in the community is doing right this moment? They're out in the sunshine, right? Somewhere, at a lake, in their pool, in the farm. Somewhere, they're out doing something, or maybe they're inside watching TV or heading to a movie theater, or hanging out with friends and family. Lots of reunions going on. But why are we here? Could it be that something has happened in our lives? Something so great that we wouldn't want to be anywhere else? Or could it be that we're searching for something? Something we've seen in others? Something that we know exists but have not yet experienced it for ourselves? What's your answer? What's your reason for being here? Or is it just a social outing? If it's social, it ends at noon. If it's because of the living Christ, it lasts for an eternity. In our gospel lesson today, Jesus meets a demon-possessed man who wants nothing to do with Jesus. He's afraid of God. The presence of the holy for him is a tormenting thing. But in the later part of our lesson, we see a new man. Legion is healed. He's sitting at the feet of Jesus, not because he has to, but because he wouldn't want to be anywhere else. He's hanging out with Jesus. He's relaxed, perhaps for the first time in his life. He's no longer fearful of God. And he even begs Jesus to allow him to go with him into the next town and into the next and into the next. How many of us were like Legion before we were healed by Christ? Before we were touched by Christ? Before we were made disciples or saved? In our communities today, many people are like Legion before his salvation. They aren't comfortable with God. God's a fearful thought for them. And yet our society, in this society, there are many folks who are searching for something. We're not comfortable with God because we know God will confront us. And we're searching for something. People all over the place are searching for something. Notice how many religious people there are. People are turning to gurus, transcendental meditation, Scientology, voodoo, witchcraft, drugs. The very fact that people are searching is proof that there's a void in their lives. The very fact that people are searching says that there is a void, there is a hole in their life. And I can tell you right now that it is a God-sized hole that only God can fill. Because you don't search for something that you already have. The word religion, it's a Latin word, and it comes from the root to bind back. So when a person is religious, he or she is trying to bind him or herself back to God, to patch things up. But of course, we can't do it on our own, can we? We can't do it on our own. To be put right with God, we've got to allow God to do the work. God is the one who can make us right, put us right with Him, bind us back with Him. A man driving along the highway heard a strange clang one day, but he ignored it. He kept on driving. And when he got home, he realized that one of his hubcaps had come off, was missing. And 2 weeks later, while driving home along that same stretch of highway, he noticed his hubcap propped up on the side of the road. Stopping to get it, he found a note attached to it. And it read, "I've been looking for you." Well, friends, the human race is like that lost hubcap. We have no way to bind ourselves back to God any more than that hubcap can find its way back to the car it belonged on, right? We can't do it on our own. We can't do it on our own unless God comes along looking for us. And that's the good news of God, isn't it? God is searching for us all. Every single one of us. God came looking for Legion, and God comes searching for us. Jesus bound Legion back to God, and Legion is no longer lost. Instead, he sits relaxed and timid, even excited at Jesus' feet. Now, when you first look at it, it may seem sort of odd to us that Legion was not overjoyed when he first met Jesus. Legion was naked and unwashed. He had no home. He lived alone in a cemetery, chained there by the townspeople who were at their wits' end with how to deal with him. Many times, it tells us, Legion had broken his chains, but the demon drove him into even more horrible situations. What a miserable existence. We can almost feel the self-loathing Legion must have had. It's the case with many people in our neighborhoods, isn't it? As humans, we are a hunted species, and we are often our own predator. Ours is a generation of self-inflicted wounds. We are our worst critics, aren't we? Norman Rockwell has a painting of a little girl sitting in front of a mirror, and a movie magazine is in her lap, and it's open to a picture of her favorite star. And as she compares what she sees in the mirror to what she sees in the magazine, You can see her face. She is frowning. It's a tragedy to go through life disliking ourselves. And salvation for Legion not only meant a new relationship with God, it meant a new relationship with himself. When Legion learned that God accepted him, then Legion began to accept and love himself. How exciting is that? In the country of the Gerasenes, Jesus comes face to face with a raving madman who lives a tortured existence among the tombs. Legion was a Gentile. He was mad. He lived naked and homeless in a graveyard. I just love saying the word naked while Mike's not here. Sorry. I don't know. He makes fun of me so much about that. But anyway, living homeless in a graveyard. He lived near a herd of swine or a herd of pigs. And not only does this event demonstrate Jesus' power over the forces of evil, but it makes the point that nobody is irredeemable. No one is irredeemable or beyond the reach of Christ's saving and healing work. No one is beyond Christ's touch. Is that why you're here today? Can you relate to this? It's God who knows that those whom he loves are lost. It's God who seeks us out. Do you hear that? It's God who seeks us out. And it is God who finds us. And it's up to us to accept his offer, to come into our hearts, to come into our lives. You know, where the church I was raised in, we would hear it a lot. When I found Jesus was the one. When I found Jesus, you didn't find Jesus. God found you. God found you. You opened the door. But God found you. Let there be no mistake. Remember Forrest Gump? He asked the lieutenant, "Forrest, have you found Jesus?" Forrest answers, "I didn't know he was lost." Well, we're not the ones who find Jesus. Jesus finds us. And after Legion was healed, the people from the town came and found him sitting at Jesus' feet, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. So they told Jesus to take a hike, to hit the road, Jack, and never come back. That was the people's response to finding Legion dressed and in his right mind. They kicked Jesus out. They were afraid of the holy. They were uncomfortable with God. They wanted nothing to do with him. The light of God was shining bright, and it hurt their eyes to look at it. Because maybe, just maybe, they'd soon be forced to face their own demons and accept the fact that Jesus does indeed save. So Jesus got into the boat and left. And this newborn Christian, who had once been called Legion, wanted to hop in the boat with him. But Jesus had other plans for him. He told him, "Return home and tell how much God has done for you." The man went away and told all over town how much Jesus had done for him. My friends, we are the body of Christ within this community. We are Christ's representatives within a place where so many people neither know God nor do they want to know God. And Jesus is telling us the same thing. To tell those in our community how much God has done for us. Are we doing that? Are we doing that? We have the most exciting, intriguing, and important story to tell. Nothing else beats it. God's incredible love for us. When we're at our best, when we're at our lowest. God does not desert us. So let's go home. Let's tell our stories today and tomorrow, the next day, and for as long as we have to live. This morning, I invite you. Our altar is always open if you need it. First of all, have you been ignoring God's call on your life? Are you afraid of the holy? Are you afraid of God? What God might confront you on? The altar is open. If you need to say, God, I'm opening the door right now. I know you've been stalking me like the hound of heaven, and I'm ready to let you in. Or maybe you're one of those who says, yeah, I'm a Christian. Yeah, I follow. But you don't necessarily live like it. So maybe you need to recommit to be one of those who tell the old story. The story of your life. The story of how God saved you. How God sought you out. Pursued you. Found you. Saved you. And now is sending you. Tell it to the world. You may say, well, it's the same as everybody else's story. No. Everyone's story is different. You see the bird's eye view of our town? So many people need to hear that good news. Live it with your life. Tell it with your words. Share it with the world. That's not Becky's request. That's a command from Jesus himself. To go and tell. May it be so. May